The wind howled like a wounded beast. Over the black hills of Kobravaadi, lightning tore through the sky, illuminating the valley for just a second, enough to reveal hundreds of stone idols half buried in mud. Their faces were twisted, mouths open in silent screams. Beneath them, a mining company had been drilling for weeks. Heavy machines roared even through the storm. The workers didn't know the legends, didn't believe the warnings. "Keep the diggers running," the foreman shouted through the rain. "We hit something ancient here. The company wants results." But the earth began to tremble. The machines rattled. A blinding green flash burst from the pit, throwing men into the air. One by one, the floodlights exploded, leaving only thunder and panic. And then came the sound, a hiss, low and endless, like 1,000 snakes waking from centuries of sleep. From the depths, a colossal serpent skull rose through the mud, eyes hollow, dripping black venom. Inside it, something moved. One of the workers fell to his knees, trembling. "Bhagwan, or what have we done?" In that moment, across the farthest end of the country, in the silent temple of Mahangar, Nagraj opened his eyes. The rain outside his sanctuary stopped instantly. The air changed. He whispered just one word, "Kobravaadi." And he knew something that should have stayed buried was rising again. Nagraj stood on the temple roof as lightning bathed the world in emerald flashes. His serpent armor shimmered with golden light, each scale humming like a heartbeat. A priest approached him quietly. "It's the cursed valley, isn't it, Nagraj? The one sealed by the Cobra cleanse." Nagraj nodded. 3,000 years ago, the Cobra King betrayed the pact of peace. His venom drowned half the forest. I thought that curse was gone. He looked toward the dark horizon, his eyes glowing faintly. But the earth remembers everything. With a leap that cracked the air, Nagraj soared into the storm. Serpents of light followed him, weaving through thunderclouds as he streaked across the sky like a comet of green fire. By dawn, he reached Kobravaadi. What had once been a dense forest was now a pit, a wound in the earth. The machines lay scattered, torn apart by something massive. The workers were gone, their boots and helmets half buried in red mud. Nagraj landed quietly, his boots sinking into the wet ground. The stench of venom hung heavy in the air. He bent down and touched the soil, it burned. "They've awakened him," he murmured. He turned sharply as the ground cracked open again. From within, black serpents poured out, thousands of them, their eyes burning crimson. Nagraj's eyes narrowed. "Show yourself, Cobra King." A voice echoed through the mist, calm and deep. "You sealed me once, brother. But poison cannot die. It only waits." The fog parted, revealing a figure, tall, monstrous, armored in dark scales, his face hidden beneath a cobra-shaped mask. Nagraj felt the weight of old guilt press against his chest. "Kobranaag." The creature smiled beneath his mask. "Welcome home, my brother." They stood face to face, two gods reborn through venom, two ends of the same curse. "You shouldn't be alive," Nagraj said quietly. "I ended your reign." Kobranaag's laughter echoed through the valley. "You ended my flesh, not my faith. My followers drank my venom and became one with me. You buried us beneath your peace, Nagraj, now that peace will drown in blood." He raised his hand, and from the earth rose his army, hundreds of half-human, half-serpent beings, their skin black and scaled, their eyes glowing red. Nagraj's serpents hissed in warning. "I didn't come to fight you," he said. "I came to stop the poison." "Then you came to die," Kobranaag replied. They clashed. The valley erupted with green and black light. Venom turned to fire. Snakes formed whips of light and struck the ground with thunderous force. Every movement was a blur, every impact shook the earth. Nagraj spun midair, summoning a storm of serpents that circled him like a cyclone, deflecting Kobranaag's venom strikes. The sky turned emerald. But Kobranaag was stronger than ever. Each drop of his venom that hit the ground birthed new monsters. Nagraj was outnumbered. Kobranaag's voice boomed across the storm. You can't kill what you created. Every drop of your blood carries my curse. Nagraj fell back, gripping his side where black veins were spreading beneath his skin. He looked at his hand, his own venom was darkening. No, he whispered. Kobranaag stepped closer, his voice almost tender. You and I, Nagraj, we are one. You can destroy me only by destroying yourself. Nagraj's eyes dimmed. He vanished into the mist. Night fell again, and with it, silence. The valley no longer felt like a forest. It pulsed like something alive, breathing, whispering, watching. Nagraj stumbled into the ruins of an ancient temple buried beneath the hills. The carvings on its walls told the story of the Cobra clans, their rise, their fall, their betrayal. He knelt, weak, coughing venom. His reflection in the pool beside him was no longer purely green. His eyes flickered between emerald and crimson. He punched the stone floor in rage. No! I won't be your weapon again. From behind him came a voice, soft, human. Nagraj? He turned sharply. A young archaeologist, Dr. Riya Mehta, stood there holding a lantern. Her face was pale but resolute. You're real? She whispered. They said you were a myth. Nagraj stared at her. You shouldn't be here. I came to stop them, she said. The company that dug up this site. They were funded by someone calling himself Cobra Industries. I think it was all a setup to awaken this thing. Nagraj's jaw tightened. Kobranaag. She nodded, realizing the name carried weight far beyond her understanding. If he's here, then we're all finished. Nagraj stood, his strength returning slightly. Not yet. There's still one seal beneath this temple. If I can restore it, the poison can be contained. But you're dying, she said quietly. He looked down at his hand, where black veins now pulsed under green skin. Even poison has its purpose, Riya. If I must use it to end him, I will. The walls trembled. The idols cracked. The ground beneath them split open. And from the abyss below rose the true heart of the curse, a massive serpent made entirely of black mist and molten venom, its roar shaking the heavens. The creature struck first, its body smashing through stone pillars. Nagraj leapt forward, his serpents flaring around him in arcs of light. Riya ran for cover as the entire temple collapsed around them. The battle spilled into the valley. Kobranaag stood atop the serpent's head, arms spread wide, his armor glowing red. Look at the world we were meant to rule, he shouted. Bow to your own venom, brother. Nagraj's voice thundered in reply. You mistake poison for power. He flew upward, punching through the serpent's coils. Venom splashed across the battlefield like rain. His fists glowed green, his body burning from within. Every strike weakened him, yet every blow grew stronger. Kobranaag countered with dark waves of energy that turned the ground to glass. The two collided midair, an explosion of light and shadow that split the clouds apart. Riya watched from afar, shielding her eyes. Please, one of you has to survive. Nagraj grabbed Kobranaag by the throat, eyes blazing. This ends now. Kobranaag laughed even as Nagraj's venom seared through him. If I fall, you fall too. Nagraj's voice cracked with fury. Then let the poison die with me. He unleashed all his power. The valley became a storm of green fire. The colossal serpent shrieked and disintegrated. The mountains trembled. When the light faded, there was silence. Only ash, rain, and the smell of venom. Morning broke over Kobravaadi. The storm was gone. The pit had filled itself again with soil and roots, as though the earth was healing. Dr. Ria searched through the ruins, her clothes torn, her hands shaking. "Nagraj," she called out. No answer. She found only a single piece of his serpent armor, cracked but still glowing faintly. She held it close, tears mixing with rain. "You saved us," she whispered. As she turned to leave, a soft sound echoed, the faint hiss of a snake. She looked down. A small green serpent slithered beside her foot, its eyes shining with calm intelligence. It stopped, looked up at her, then disappeared into the undergrowth. Ria smiled faintly. "Goodbye, protector." Far beneath the earth, where sunlight never reached, a figure rested within a cocoon of serpents, his body still, his veins glowing slowly back to green. Nagraj's voice, faint and distant, murmured through the silence. "Where there is poison, there will always be a cure." The forest exhaled. The valley slept again. But somewhere, deep under the stone layers of the world, a single black drop of venom pulsed, alive, waiting. And in that pulse, a whisper returned. "Kobranaag will rise again." If you like the story, then subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories.